The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, good morning and good afternoon for some people. We're going to go ahead and get started here in a few more minutes. We're just waiting on a few more people. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Does everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. So, as mentioned, I said, excuse me, as I mentioned before, good morning, good afternoon from some of you. I know some of you are going to be on the East Coast and some of you are on the West Coast and everywhere in between. Thank you for attending Web Shop Managers, one of our first of many webinars. This one is going to be on our advanced guided search redirect, which is going to be your AGS Search Redirects. So, but before we get started, we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. So with me is going to be Paulette. She's our director of our client experience here. And then you have me. I am your training specialist here at Web Shop Manager. And yes, that is a real picture of me after I got into my best friend's cookie jar. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. So what I want to do is go over some of our training objectives. Okay, I apologize. It seems like we're having some sort of lag on our end. So I'll just go ahead and adjust accordingly. So our training objectives, we're going to go over what exactly is AGS Search Redirect. And next, we're going to go over the benefit of using this feature. And then able to create a new AGS Search Redirect by going through the back end of our Web Shop Manager account. And then we'll demonstrate what it actually looks like to have AGS Search Redirect active on your website. So, what is AGS Search Redirect and the benefit of using it? Well, AGS Search Redirect is a very powerful tool which guides and redirects your customer base to where you want them to go based on what they're searching for. So, for example, if we have a high percentages of searches looking for bumpers, and as a result, they are directed to a page listing of all of our bumpers or your bumpers, we can go ahead and guide them by redirecting them to a web page of their best-selling bumpers. So how do we do this? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and find out what our most common search terms are going to be on our website. So in order to do this, we're on the back end of your Web Shop Manager account. You're going to go to the Reports tab, and then you're going to go ahead and click on the Search Log button. That is going to take you to a new screen, and it's going to show you a list of all your web searches on your website. So as you can see right here, we have snowplow and bumper, which are our most common terms used when a customer is searching for on this particular website. So going over some of the columns that we have here, we have query, which is what the customer types in into your search bar. Next to that, we have our number of searches. This lets you know how many times each query has been typed in when a customer is trying to search for something. So as you can see right here, the snowplow has 70 searches. That means 70 different customers, or even a few customers typed in snowplow more than once. And then last is going to be your last search. This is when the last date was used for that term. So you also have the ability to sort and search terms by simply clicking on the title of the column you want to sort. So if, for example, if I wanted to change last search to what was most recently used or searched for, I can click on the last search and it's going to populate that way. Moving on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use now the most common search term for our search redirects. So under this screenshot, as you can see, I typed in bumper, and under the search catalog, it says your search for bumper has returned with no results, and then gives me some tips to try to find it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get the relative URL for that website. So you're probably wondering, well, what is a relative URL? Well, the relative URL is going to be everything after the .com of your web page. So as you can see right here, up at the top, you have HTTPS and then the domain name. And then right after the .com, you have a / and everything else after that. I'm going to highlight that by either clicking on right click and then copy, and then or on my keyboard, I can click on the control button and the C button at the same time. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go to the back end of my Web Chat Manager account. And I'm going to go to System and Search Redirects. So make sure you click on the Search Redirects button. There's one right above it that says URL redirects. We want to click on the Search Redirects one because that's where we want to go. Next, what you're going to need to, the next screen to appear is going to be your Search Redirect screen, and you're going to click on one to two Add Redirect buttons. It doesn't matter which one you click on. They're both going to take you to the same screen that you need to be on next. So this screen is going to be where you're adding your search redirect. So remember that relative URL that we copied before at the front end of our website? We're going to go ahead and put that where it says redirect URL. And then right below that, there's going to be terms that we can add in there. So for whoever types in, for example, bumper or front or rear bumper, they can go ahead and put that in there. So with that being said, as you can see, the terms for bumper that I listed on the screenshot is going to be bumper, back bumper, front and rear bumper, and then bumpers for plural. So if a customer types in any of those words, it's going to redirect them to the page where I want them to go. And after I typed in each term, I'm going to click on the Add Term button, and it's going to give me another box in the window to add another term. After that, I'm going to click on the Save Changes button, which is located right here at the right-hand side of your screen. And then it's going to take me back to my Search Redirects screen. This is where it's going to show me all my redirects, and I can edit any redirects that I have created before by simply clicking on the little pencil and notebook icon on the left-hand side. So some things that we want to keep in mind. So the first one is going to be currently this feature does not allow duplicate search terms in the same search redirect or across search redirects. An example of this is being you would only be allowed to have one entry for bumper across all search redirect sites. Number two is going to be search redirects must be unique. You cannot have the same search URL in separate entries. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here when we actually demonstrate on the front end of our, when we do a live demonstration. Number three is going to be the feature must match exact terms. An example of this is if I type in rear yellow bumper, a redirect will only occur when I type in rear yellow bumper. If the user types in yellow rear bumper, a redirect will not occur.
Unmuted.
You have been muted. Did you all hear, you heard that? You did. Excellent.
Unmuted.
All right. Thank you, Paulette. So before we get to the live demonstration, there's also going to be a video tutorial about how to do a search redirect on our WSMU University page. This is the link to it. Or you can go to our YouTube channel, which also has our video tutorial on there as well. So let's go ahead and do a live demonstration. So here, I'm going to have to give a quick shout out to Scoggin Dickey Parts Center, who's allowing us to use their website for the live demonstration. So as you can see right here, I'm already on the reports page and then the search log. And here you can see all of our search terms that customers have been using. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create a search redirect that connects customers to their store location as well as their address. So what I'm going to do is go into the front end, and I'm going to type in what happens when I type in address up here or location at the top for their search bar. So the search results come up with nothing has populated for this. I'm going to go to what happens if I type in location. And of course, parts and products pop up. And so I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is scroll all the way down to where it says contact us, because I'm assuming that's where their address and location is going to be. Yep. And remember, I'm going to get that relative URL, which is everything after the .com portion. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to the back end of my Web Shop Manager account, and then I'm going to go to the System tab. Remember, you got to hover over it, and then we're going to click on the search redirects, not the URL redirects. And under here, I'm going to click on Add Redirect. And I'm going to take that relative URL and put it in here where it says redirect URL. And now I'm going to type in all the terms I can think of that I would want the customers to search for if I'm trying to get a location or a number or any type of way to contact me. So that's probably a good first term to start out with, is going to be contact. Then I'm going to click on add term, address, location, phone number, fax. Now I have 5 terms that I can use here. So I'm going to click on Save Changes. Now remember back before, some things to keep in mind. We're actually doing AGS redirects. Remember, we can't use the same relative URL. So if I wanted to do another add redirect for this, and if I clicked on, and if I put in the same relative URL and put in phone numbers or phone number, add term, and I clicked on Save Changes, an error is going to pop up. It says, hey, a duplicate URL was found in ID number 5. These IDs are pretty important because if you have multiple search redirects, there's going to be an ID for it. So it said, hey, there's a different, there was the same URL redirect. The ID is number 5. I can just go ahead and click on that on the edit button right here, and then I can go ahead and put in phone number. And then I click on Save Changes, and it takes me back to my screen. So now I'm going to go to the back of my front end of my website, and I'm going to type in, just to make sure it's working, what was the term that we use? Contact, which is the first one. Click on Go, and that will take me, and we can see right here, the relative URL popped up, and it takes me to their contact screen. Now, it's not case sensitive. There's always exceptions to the rule when coming into searching. So if I've typed in all my terms, uppercase or lowercase, it doesn't matter. I can even do add dress in a really funky way and then hit go. It's still going to take me to the redirect. And that is it. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to any type of questions you may have. And again, like as Paulette was mentioning before, there's going to be a question box right there on your GoToMeeting, and just go ahead and type them in, and we'll go ahead and answer your questions.
Muted.
So we've had a few questions come in already. For those of you that aren't monitoring the panel, one of the questions we had is, what if you're not actually seeing the search redirects URL in your menu option? And that's because we haven't enabled this for everyone yet. There are some monthly technology license requirements in order to get this feature. It's currently set to be a premium level feature. For all of you clients that are premium level, we will be enabling this for you following the webinar. For those of you that are in our professional level, just let me know if you're interested in the feature, and then we can have a conversation about what does that mean in order for you to get that feature on your website. And please continue to type in questions in that little questions panel if you have them. Another question that we had was, can you create these in a bulk upload? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. We did create this as part of our CSV import model. And so we will have a global profile out there that you could copy and then use to import these in bulk to your site. I've actually already done that process myself. It's pretty straightforward. The one thing you do need to keep in mind is what Adam brought up as far as the duplicates, because it will error if you try to submit the same search term more than once, or if you try to submit the same URL more than once. Another question that we had is, what's the difference between a search redirect and a URL redirect? The URL redirect is actually a one-to-one redirect. So you're basically coming in and you're saying, I want this specific URL to take my client or my customer, my end-use customer, to another page within the website. And an example of that would be, let's say that you went to the front end of your website and you did, we'll do sdparts.com again, and this time we just did /contact actually in the URL. That page itself doesn't exist without the .html. So it would really bring you to a 404 page. Again, I'm not using the search box, I'm using the actual browser URL. So if you put in contact.html, of course, it would take you to the pages, the page that Adam had up during the demonstration. So a URL redirect, what you could do is go into the back end and click add redirect. And the incoming URL would be that /contact without the .html, and where you want them to go would be /contact.html. So again, it's a one-to-one, and it's based off of what people put into their browser URL. The search redirect, as Adam had demonstrated, is that this is literally tied to the actual search box. And as he had shown, the amazing thing about this tool is you can now take customers to non-product pages, where currently your AGS search bar will only take customers to products or product series, depending on your setup. The AGS search, let me see this full question here. This one just came in. What's the difference between the AGS search and using the meta keywords? So you can go into your meta keywords and you can add additional terms that would then be indexed with your site. And as long as your site is using that field to do searches, it would actually play a role in taking the customer to the products that are most relevant to that term. The biggest difference here is that at times what you'll find is that people will search for a term. I have a perfect example where I had a manufacturer. They have two websites with us. On their non-manufacturer website, on their second site where they do reselling, people were searching for their brand without a space. Now you could add into all of your products, you know, the brand with space, the brand name without a space. In this case, it's easy to go into your search term relevancy. So it really gives you a search direct to take a customer to a specific page versus a search.html page with search term results. Let me know and I can provide some more detail on that. Let's see here if there's other ones that I feel that are good to share. We have a general question about just about webinars. As many of you know that I've been talking to you over the last several months, especially since SEMA, we have brought in Adam as a dedicated trainer to support our team. So we've been building out our client experience team over the past several months, and Adam was one of our final key pieces to bring onto our team, and we're really excited to launch our new webinar series. Our goal right now is to have and we want to announce that new feature. We'll be adding potentially a third webinar on any given month as well. But right now, 2 webinars. We're currently going to do this time on Thursdays. We'll send out a survey after we get a couple under our belt and find out if there's a better time and day of the week that works for our clients, and we'll make modifications. But a lot of exciting things going on with Adam coming to our team. He'll be working towards doing some more one-on-one trainings. We're getting him trained up on that to be able to do those. So, and also working on additional documentation. So we're really excited to have him come on to our team. So as many of you know, if you've switched over to our new plans with the monthly technology license, training is now part of your plan. And so we really wanted to get him on board and get him up and running. So if I sound excited, I am. A couple more questions that have come in here. How do we get the import model for the CSV profiles? I'll go ahead, we'll share this recording when we're done, and we have a WSMU page that was linked earlier. We'll link into that WSMU page information about importing. So you'll be able to find that information there. Yes, we will, as a reminder for all premium clients, we will activate this feature on your website following this webinar. And so you'll be able to go in and actually enter in some actual URLs and some search terms and test it out immediately. The search log has been active on everybody's sites for AGS. Just as a note, that feature was actually launched in October. It was late October. So you'll start to see those search terms building from that date, but unfortunately we don't have any terms from prior to that. So, but it's a really great way to go in and easily see how people are actually using your search tool. And I highly recommend that you do what Adam did, and that is to, look at the search term and then search it yourself on the front end of the website and actually see what customers are seeing, so you know how can you improve that search. Good question about your monthly technology license as far as what level you currently are. About 2 months ago, and I know we're getting close to running out of time, so I'll make this my last question. But again, if you have more, please continue to submit and we'll follow up with those afterwards. But about 2 months ago, we launched a new feature on your Web Shop Manager dashboard. So when you log into the back end of your site, if you hover over dashboard, if you're not already on the dashboard, on the menu for dashboard, you'll see a new item that's called Tech License. So if you're already on your dashboard, it actually appears just below that menu. What you'll see under there, so you can see here where Adam's at if you scroll back.
Unmuted.
Adam. Oh, you had paused your screen. So if you scroll back up, so Adam's on the dashboard of our Sandbox site here. You'll see underneath the dashboard menu that Tech License. When you click on that, it's going to give you information about your website. You'll see several different tabs, and the last tab is called Hours. That tab is where you can see your current plan with Web Shop Manager. Now, that's not going to function on the site that Adam's on right now because it's not linked with our time tracking software, because this is just a demo site, but you can see this Hours tab here, and that is where you would go to actually see your current plan and the plans that are available above you as well. So any additional questions on plans, please feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to discuss those with you, and we can, talk about what features are available. So I'll let Adam wrap up the webinar here. Thank you, everyone, from me personally for attending today, and I'll pass it back over to Adam.
Webinars a month, and again with the possibility of a third one. And as mentioned before, we're going to try to get a few under our belt, and then we'll reassess it and to see, hey, if two webinars a month is too little or too much, and then we'll go ahead and move on forward. We'll also have some other few things that we're looking out for too as well. Maybe a place that we can all kind of throw in our documentation that is widely available to all of our clients as well, and that will be something down the road that we're looking forward to be launching sometime this year. One more thing, the next webinar we will be having is going to be April 18th, same time, which is at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's going to be about, we're debating on whether it's reCAPTCHA, Google reCAPTCHA, or navigating the back end of your Web Shop Manager account. Some of the searching tips and tricks on that. Again, if you want to see one or the other, go ahead and send us your thoughts about that. Other than that, if you have no more questions, thank you for attending our webinar. One more thing, this webinar will also be on the WSMU University page, and we'll link that to you guys in an email. Okay, so again, thank you very much. And if you have no other questions, this is the end of the webinar. Thank you for attending, everybody.